Hey, we are going to be sealing some decoupage paper tonight. Hello, when you come on, please say hi. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm going to be using gator hide. I want that water resistant element on top of my decoupage paper. I have 2 tables that I'm going to seal with you guys right now. This is the sunflower, sunny days. Maybe I should go down. Should we go down a little bit? Let's do that. Sorry. I think this might be a better view. Okay, here we go. This might be better. When you come on, say hello. Let us know where you are watching from. So this is the Sunny Days decoupage paper. It's A1 rice decoupage paper. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then I also have another table with some decoupage paper on it. So we're gonna seal both of them. I figured we'd talk about sealers tonight. Hey, Nikki and Connie. Hello, everybody. Nikki's watching from the dungeon. You order that paper? Oh, I can't wait to see what you do with it. Hey. Okay, so I did use satin to put it down, and I do have a coat of satin over it. But now I want to go in with gator hide. Same thing with the other table that I'm going to bring out as soon as I put a coat on here. So I figured it's maybe not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it's really important because it's our final coat of protection on top of all of our creativity and work. So hey, we got to do it, right? So I do like to use different tools for using the sealers to either seal with or to go over the decoupage with, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorites. I do like a synthetic brush. I like the blue sponge. I like the Big Daddy brush, and I like the applicator pad. I also like the Foam and Dandy, which I kind of feel is not, I don't have a big enough one here to use tonight. So I actually have not sealed decoupage yet with the Big Daddy brush, but I do love sealing with this, so I figured we are going to try it out together. And I got my sponge and a synthetic brush in the background in case I got to pull that out instead. Okay, so that is our plan for tonight. And we may paint the base of the other table because this one's done. The other table, I have the paper down, it's sealed. I want to put 2 coats of gator hide on it, but I still need to paint the base of it. So we might go into that as well. Hey, Nate. You guys tell me what you all are working on. You know we love to talk about that. We love to hear what you all are working on. So I'm going to use the Big Daddy. I do have a Big Daddy just for sealer, and I have one that I use for paint. I love to seal with that brush, and I'm going to tell you why. So first off, I did stir it really well before we came on live. I'm going to give it another little stir because it's been a few minutes. You really want to make sure you get from the bottom up, and a lot of times I'll use a fork because the fork can break up. Whether it's this or your primer, a fork can break up anything that might want to settle at the bottom that's a little bit heavier. So I'm just going to spoon some out onto my plate. So the reason why I love the Big Daddy brush is it's a 5-inch hybrid brush. Oops, we dripped some on there. That's okay because we're about to get messy with it. It's a 5-inch brush. It's got a beautiful hybrid bristles in there, so there's natural and synthetic in there. And do I have mascara on my nose? I do. Whoops. Sorry, guys. We'll worry about that later. All right, I'm going to dip it right in here. As you can tell, it's always down to the wire. And I'm going to tell you why. I actually had another project that I was working on today that I was going to do tonight. But I would just be rushing it if I did it, and I just knew that was not the right thing to do. So let me come up really close. This is awesome. This is so awesome. I love this brush so much. So you're just going to load up your bristles. Just like that. You can use a generous amount. What's awesome about this, it's thick enough that it loads up the product and holds it, and then it dispenses it nice and evenly. And I just love sealing with this brush. Now, one thing with decoupage paper, as soon as you add water to it, it can bring out some wrinkles. Just let it be. You just got to kind of leave it, let the water evaporate out of there, and your wrinkles will go back down. So if you work really hard and you get your decoupage paper on and you're happy with the way it looks, and then you go to seal it again, and you're like, oh my goodness, where are these wrinkles coming from? That's totally normal and nothing to worry about. So I'm just using kind of a light touch. I'm gonna go around the edge with the blue sponge just because I don't want any dripping. So I'm gonna do that. Here's my blue sponge. You could use something else, but I'm just gonna use the very tip of it, the very edge, and I'm just going like that, just so there's no drips or excess buildup of product. There we go. I mean, it's like such an easy part, but it's also the part that kind of stresses me out when I'm sealing something is, what if I mess it up, you know? But I do know that if I just do my tried and true practices, it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna get that mascara off of there. Sorry about that. Okay, so that is our beautiful Sunny Days paper. Is that not so pretty? There's so many colors you can use with this as well. I happened upon this factory finish black table. The top was damaged, so I had to sand the table top off, pretty much. It's manufactured wood. I had to be careful not to, you know, burn through it, but that top was cracked and buckling, so it needed to come off. But I figured the body went so well with this paper that I was happy with it. So we're gonna move on to our next table. I'm gonna just bring it right over here, out of sight, and we're gonna switch out the other table. And I'm seeing if there's any, I really don't see any wrinkles coming up, but I'm not worried if they do because I know that in time it'll come right back out. Hi, Gina in New York City. Hi, Kathy. Hi, everybody. Hey, Michelle. It's so nice to see everybody. Hello, Diane. If you guys are retailers, make sure you put your page and where you're located in the comments. All right, here is my next table. And I might start painting this one with you guys tonight, too. I love this paper. This is sepia rose. It's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So this is clear bonding boss on it, so it is ready to paint. I put a coat of fluff, and then I sealed it. I put it down with satin, and now I'm ready to add some gator hide to it. So let's do that as well. And then, you know what? I might prop it up here on the table, and we'll talk about colors. What color would you guys paint the base of this? I have two trains of thought, and I'm wondering if you guys are thinking the same thing I am. We shall see. So I'm going to just scoop out a little more of the gator hide onto my plate. There we go. That looks like it should be enough. Same thing. I'm going to use the Big Daddy. I'm really happy with the way this comes out, sealing with this brush. It just, I don't know if it's because it's the way it's designed with 5 inches, so you get like a nice even coverage, you know? And then the fact that the way it picks up the product and then dispenses it, nice and even. So I really enjoy sealing with this brush. It's also my go-to. I love to paint with this brush too. It is an awesome, awesome brush. You may think like, oh, I shouldn't be sealing with something with natural bristles in it, but because it's a hybrid and the way it's designed, it just works. The natural bristle and the synthetic just work beautifully together, and they just deposit the product nice and even right across that surface. Okay, so I'm going to come up and see what you guys are thinking about the colors for this table, and if it's what I'm thinking too. And we might as well start painting a little bit. I mean, why not? We're here, right? Might as well. Might as well. I'm just going to put this off to the side so it's not in the way. Here we go. Okay. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying about the table base. I find that it does not, Nikki. I'm very surprised by the brush, which is why I really wanted to show it to you guys tonight. I'm really surprised by the Big Daddy brush because you would think that it's just going to show a bunch of lines, and it doesn't. I seal with Terra, the Terra paint. I seal with the Big Daddy all the time. And I figured, let's try it. And I'll make sure to take after photos so you can see how it looks, you know, as it dries. But I'm going to put it right back up on my table and bring it up close, and maybe we can do some painting together. So that went by really fast. really fast, which I am not complaining about. I am not complaining whatsoever, because anytime I can hang out with you guys, it is a treat. Now, you can see how it's dripping. This is why you want to have either foam and dandy or something, or some type of tool, another brush, a clean brush with no sealer on it, and you want to go around the edges. And you can just work that little ridge right into the areas there, and that will smooth out and remove any excess product so you don't get that build-up color that it can leave you, and you don't get any drips. So it's just another little step that you want to make sure that you do. And you do it on each time you seal it. So I will give both these tables will get 2 coats of gator hide. So it will end up with 1 coat of satin and 2 coats of gator hide. I'll let it cure really well, and then it'll be great to go. Now you can see it is bringing up some wrinkles in that paper, but again, remember, that's okay. Anytime you add water to the paper, to decoupage paper, it kind of like swells up the little fibers in there, and that's okay. It's going to settle down, and it will go back to its original state. You can also use some parchment paper. You can also use some parchment paper in a very low heat, no steam setting, if there's wrinkles that bother you. So I'm checking out my sunflower table over there. I don't see any wrinkles coming up. I don't see any excess product, so I'm really excited. Okay, so let's talk about the table base. So we're gonna start painting. This is what I'm thinking, and you guys tell me what you think. I love this paper so much. It is so beautifully detailed. I love the colors. I don't want to compete with those gorgeous pinks or those greens in there. So I think buttercream on the base, in either chocolate or coffee bean. I'm not sure. Maybe coffee bean around here. But whatever I use around here, say it's coffee bean or chocolate, I'll then do a wash over this. I think that will kind of tie it together but not overpower the paper. I mean, there's so many gorgeous colors in there that you just naturally want to start like blending all those colors together, but I really want those pinks and greens to stand out. Yes, absolutely. You make sure, yes. You make sure that the clear coat is dry before you put an iron on there, and make sure you don't have any steam, you don't have the steam setting on. So it's something you'd come back and do the next day. It's not something to rush at all. Okay, so let's see. I should have my buttercream out. Let's fluff. It's right here, and I have a brush, so why don't we just get a little bit of a base coat going. And so remember, this table does have 2 coats of bonding emboss and clear on it, so it's going to stick well to there. This is another manufactured wood piece. You can pick these up at the thrift store or your local buy and sell groups. You might even have it around your house. It's just a great way to update it and, use your fun stuff on there. Thank you, Michelle. That's so sweet of you to do that. I appreciate that. Hi, Diane. Collard greens. Amy, you can't stay away from collard greens. Well, if we have to have collard greens, would look great to trim it out, right? That would look really pretty. I have a problem, though. When I see collard greens, I also see deep woods to do. I know. It's a problem. It's a problem. So we're going to get started with just one easy little coat there. Let me make sure I'm saying hello to everybody. Sandbar or Badlands, that would be good too. So let me show you sandbar. I should have it out because actually I wanted to bring that up. You would think sandbar would look awesome, and it does look great with it. But here is my thought process on sandbar versus buttercream. Sandbar is very pretty with that, but see how it's like a little flat? To me, it looks a little flat. But if you look at buttercream, it's bright, and it kind of brings out the brightness of it, the creaminess of it. I don't know. So here's the difference. Here's sandbar, and there is buttercream on the bottom. So the top is sandbar, and this is buttercream. But Badlands would be beautiful too. And like really, there's so many colors you could use with it. All right. Okay. So let's see. We got everybody. Take your notebooks out. Nate has a long comment. Let's see. What if? Stay with me. I love this. I'll do buttercream on the base, then do a wash of a complimentary pick, but dab it lightly with a rag. Oh, like more like a glaze like Ronnie did. That would be really pretty. I could do that. I do think doing a wash over the buttercream in a brown color would really tie it in with the paper and soften up the brightness of the buttercream. So we are on the same page. We are on the same page. I don't know if I would do the rag on this, only because I do love that look. Only because I really want the details in the paper to really stand out. Like, I don't want to compete with it. So, but that I might have to try that. Kiki, hello, Kiki in Greece. Hello. Michelle says collard greens. Amy, are you gathering up people to say collard greens? No, so Deborah, I'm not going to keep the rim white. That's fluff just to make sure. I wanted the paper to be really bright underneath. But I'm going to trim it out with either, well, I thought I was going to be trimming it out with chocolate or coffee bean, but Amy's rallied the troops and they're getting me on the collard greens train. So it might have to be collard greens. It might have to be collard greens. Amy paid you. I think I'm just going to do collard greens to keep you all happy. I don't want anybody mad at me. Hey, Fatima. How are you, my friend? Hey, Dawn. Dawn's at Nash. Dawn, make sure you put your Facebook page, your business page in the comments, please. Amy paid you, Michelle. Oh, my God. I got to screenshot that. That's hysterical. But because I have gator hide and it's wet right here, I don't dare start painting this. I want to let this dry really well. Also, I don't paint where I'm meeting with my decoupage paper until I'm happy with the way it's laying down, because I don't want to put paint and kind of trap any caught air underneath there and cause any type of air bubbles or wrinkles. So I will wait till I get another coat of gator hide on there. I'm happy. I may, and do the parchment paper thing, and then I'll trim it out. So I won't do that tonight, but I think it's gonna have to be collard greens. So let's just paint. This is like a fun hanging out. We're just gonna get it started so we can see the overall look. Ooh, I meant to tape that off too. I'm gonna have to be really careful. Boop. There we go. I'm gonna have to be really careful when I meet the base, because I really like the wood underneath, the wood tone. It looks really pretty with the paper. I just didn't like it on the base. It's too red. It's too reddish, and I wanted it a little bit like fresher looking. But I do like the wood under here, so I don't want to get paint on that. So I'm going to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. In fact, I'll do the fine cut in at the end. Off camera where my face is up there. But let me get out of the way. So now we can see how the buttercream is going to look, and then I wish I could do a poll if this should be collard greens or coffee bean. Let me know. Let me know. Collard greens or coffee bean. Or do you have another suggestion? Either way, this is going to get glazed or color washed with either Van Dyke brown glaze or color washed with coffee bean or chocolate, or both. Or both. Because sometimes, I'm telling you, I really enjoy a layered look. Glaze and wax. Glaze and a color wash. Right, River? River wants to get by. Come here. There you go. There. So, hello. So fluff is, yes, so Deborah, fluff, this is fluff right here around the rim. This is buttercream. It could be the lighting. If this looks like fluff, it could very well be the lighting. It is, I have the light on bright because I wanted you to see that, the top of the paper when we first started. But it is buttercream. So we're just going to have a little fun painting here. And this will be a quick live. I really wanted to, go over sealing your paper. Sealing your paper. Again, you can use gator hide if you want as your medium to put your decoupage paper down. I used satin because I had a big jar opened, and I finished my big jar. You need to get by. but I always make sure I put 2 coats of gator hide on the top of a tabletop, you know. The buttercream. I know, I've been loving buttercream. I really have. It's been a while since I've used it, but I am enjoying it. Poor River can't get by. This poor room. Here you go, sweetie pie. There you go. She's caught in here. It's a maze of projects in here. So I was working on another project today that I was going to do tonight, but, you know, I had to follow my own advice. I painted it 2 coats, and it was a blend, so there's a lot of water in there, and then I sealed it, and I'm like, nope. I really do not like doing more than 2 to 3 coats on a project. It would be like within 12 hours. So I don't want to risk the long-term, you know, usefulness and integrity of the piece by rushing it. So I'll probably work on that tomorrow, but I'm really liking that project too. I'm telling you, this new release is so fun. There's so many beautiful projects that you can do. There's the transfers, the papers, the water slides. What else? Decoupage paper. What did I miss? Oh, the bone inlay stencil, the silkscreen stencil, so many things. I also thought some silkscreen stenciling might be kind of pretty on the top in like the steel magnolia, in the really small filigree one. But again, I don't want to compete with that paper. It's just so pretty. It's just so pretty. Paint and food. Oh man, I'm missing something. Yeah, same here, Jill. 2 coats max. And you know, I was going to, and I don't like to use a heat gun. If I'm doing like a sign or a small craft, I will. But I just don't. I like things to dry how they're supposed to. Except Tara, I don't worry about. I use heat gun with that. I personal preferences. I don't like to use a heat gun. And I felt it's a jewelry box, and it still felt cool to the touch. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna even risk it. So I even put it in the other room so I wouldn't be tempted. Can't even look at it tonight. Can't even look at it. So sometimes you get a little buildup in there. Can you guys see that? So if you get a little buildup, I'm just going to give it a little spritz of water, use my brush, and that will distribute it out. I do like using my Mr. bottle. Now, I don't mind. If I'm going right over wood, I usually don't use my Mr. bottle on the first coat, but this is over primer, so it can drag a little bit, so don't be afraid to use your Mr. bottle. So let me just move this a little bit more. While Amy can gather her troops for collard greens, 2 buttercream. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, there's a lot of different projects that you guys can do once you go visit your local retailer and you see what they have. They should have all their bells and whistles in now, so you can always reach out to your local retailer, give them a call, send them a message, have them put aside what you're looking for, and go give them a visit. So this month, we're doing the Bells Virtual Trip, which a lot of you have joined us on, which has been a lot of fun, and I so appreciate it. You'll find Amy from AJ's Vintage Designs, Diane from Vintage Finders Warehouse, Jill from Simply Made Unique by Jill, Stacy from New Creations by Stacy, and myself. My name's Kristen. I'm from Lost and Found Mercantile, and we are visiting the different Dixie Belle groups, and we're doing tons of lives and reels and photos and all kinds of fun stuff using the new Bells and Whistles line. So if you haven't checked this out, go check out those groups. It's in the World of Chalk Paint, Chalk Mineral Enthusiast page, and the Bells and Whistles group, Chalk Mineral Paint Enthusiast group. They're all groups. So not to be confused with in here on the Dixie Belle main page. So they're all 3 of them are groups. So I hope you will go join us. So you can see there's a little bit of buildup. I'm going to just, right in that little crevice there, give it a little spray, and that will help smooth it out. As you can see, I'm going to have to get back there, but we're just going to do one more little leg. Yes, indeed. I did do a live earlier today in Bells and Whistles, but it is lost somewhere in live land there. It's actually under videos. And that was on the jewelry box that I'm going to be adding some transfer bits to, but like I said, it wasn't going to happen tonight. It wasn't going to happen tonight. But I painted it live in there. There we go. And another thing I like to do, even after, you know, before I put on a second coat of buttercream here, I will give it a slight sand and then use a microfiber and get off any of the dust. So I do like to sand lightly in between each coat. It just knocks down any little bits that might be there. And also, it's going to remove anything that may have found its new home there overnight. Like I won't put another, I could put another coat on this tonight because I put Bond and Boss on this last week. So I could, you know, do 2 coats tonight, but I'm not sure if I will. And then give it a nice sand. I'll seal it. And then we're going to go in with the color washes and the glazes. I just love using all the extra stuff with the bells and whistles. So it's like that's when I make sure that I have my gilding waxes handy and any glaze I want to use, any best staying wax I want to use, any of that stuff. It's just about creating and having fun and adding all those layers. So we're going to see what we think so far. Like I said, this is a quick live. I'm going to just smooth out that any extra product so there's no build-up bridge on the edges. Let me just do that. And then I'm going to tip the table down again. I also thought about doing a black glaze over the sunflower table, but I don't think so. All right, so here's where we're at. So we have a coat of satin on here and 1 coat of gator hide. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'll wait till tomorrow. So tomorrow morning I'll come in. I'm going to give this a very light sanding with a finishing pad, the white ones, and then I'll wipe it back, and then I'm going to do another coat of gator hide on there. Once that dries really well, I'm happy with the finish. I'll go ahead in here with my trim color, whatever that might be. And, you know, I'll be ready to also seal the base of it and then move along with any other glazes and color washes. So that was my other thing. I'm going to show you that sunflower table again. I think I need to leave it alone. I don't know when to stop sometimes. Sometimes I don't know when to stop because I just want to keep playing with stuff. By the way, oh, you like silver? I think silver's the way to go. Thank you so much, Nate. I'm going to I think silver's the way to go too. So tell me what you guys think. So that's my plan because I really want this paper to be the star of the show. I love all the colors in there and the aging. So I do want to tone down the buttercream with a wash or a glaze or both, but we'll see. So I was thinking of adding a little bit of black glaze over this, but all right, now I can see there are some wrinkles that have come up. So I know it's okay not to panic. That's because I added gator hide or any of your water-based sealers that you use to seal with. That can easily cause the fibers in the rice paper to kind of swell up and cause those wrinkles. I need to just say, leave it alone, let it dry, and then tomorrow, if I'm not happy with it, I'll take out my parchment paper on a low, no steam, dry setting with the iron. Put my parchment paper down and just move over those areas. Then I let it come back down. I let it cool off. I'll walk away. I'll go do something else. And I'll come back in half an hour, and then I'll put my final coat on of gator hide. So that's kind of the steps I do it for that. I just thought, we would do that instead of rushing another project today. But I so appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I so appreciate you guys. Chocolate, coffee bean, or collard greens. Any of them will be gorgeous. Leave it. Okay. I think you're right, Nate. Yeah. Oh, Jill had to take her puppies out. Yeah, Nate, I think you're right. Just leave it. It's so vibrant, the colors. I don't want to take away from that, It's just that I have my black glaze out. So, maybe I should be using it. But I'm not. Tea rose would be really pretty too. I did bring tea rose out and held it up there, and I thought that could be very pretty, but is it fondant? I thought fondant, is it going to look like fondant, you know, like fancy cake if I put tea rose on the rim? That's another option. I just didn't know if it would look too much like frosting. So that was my thought process. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate all of you. If she has so much to tell. That's right, Nate. Let her be her own voice. Stop putting stuff on top of her. I appreciate you guys so much. If I missed a comment or a question, I'll go back. I'll make sure to answer everything. You can follow us along in those 3 groups and on our own individual pages to see final in progress and final project pictures. And don't forget to go check out your local retailer. And everyone have a great night. Mwah. Love you all. Thanks, guys.